What is clicker training? Clicker training is a way of training animals by reinforcing the behaviors you like so they'll happen again. You can either use food, toys, or the environment to reward your dog or animal. Clicker training can not only be used for teaching amazing and useful tricks, but also for all other aspects of animal training. For example, training obedience behaviors as well as behavior modification. You can teach an excitable dog to be calm and relaxed in exciting situations and also solve problems like shyness, reactivity, or aggression in animals. In this brief introduction to clicker training, you're going to learn how to charge your clicker as well as learn the 3 different ways of training behavior: capturing, free shaping, and luring. So before you even click the clicker in front of your dog, you want to muffle the clicker. Clickers are loud, especially these box clickers, and if you just click them in front of your dog, you're going to frighten your dog. So you need to muffle it. I like to use a piece of poster tack and just stick it onto the dimple of the clicker. That way, it's not as loud. Charging the clicker. The first step to clicker training after muffling your clicker is to charge your clicker, or build meaning to the clicker. Otherwise, the dog doesn't really know what it means. So to do that, you're going to click, pause, feed your dog a treat. If you click and feed your dog a treat at the same time, you're not teaching the dog the click means the treat. They're just seeing your hand moving is the sign that they're going to get the treat. So to build meaning to the clicker, it has to come first before the food comes. So you don't want to also move your hand as you click, like a remote control, or the dog is seeing this as the sign that a treat is coming and not specifically the noise. In a non-distracting environment that your dog is comfortable in, click, pause, and feed your dog a treat. You can either feed them to their mouth or put the treat on the ground. Repeat this 10 times. If your dog is not alerting to the clicker after 10 to 20 repetitions, it could mean that the treat you're using is not reinforcing enough. Once you have conditioned the clicker, you can start to reinforce and train the behaviors that you like. This puppy is being reinforced for sitting. If you've muffled your clicker, it's okay to click near your dog's head because it's not loud, it doesn't hurt their ears. But if this piece of poster tack wasn't on there, that would be extremely painful to Splash's ears to have me clicking near it. Luring. Here are some examples of behaviors that can be trained using luring. Luring is a form of shaping where you're utilizing a piece of food, a toy, or a target while reinforcing responses in the direction towards the finished behavior. The great thing about luring is that you can teach a large quantity of behaviors in a short amount of time, creating variety to training sessions, which keeps animals interested and enthusiastic about learning, as well as making you unpredictable as a trainer. The hardest aspect of luring is removing the lure to acquire the finished behavior. The trainer should plan ahead with a goal in mind as to when they're going to remove the lure, which should be as soon as possible. This is Rodney's first lesson of Sit Pretty. I'm luring him up with a treat and clicking any initial movement upwards towards the treat. You can see on the 3rd trial I don't even have a treat in my hand, and yet he still gets one. Here you can see Vinny learning to spin in a circle using a lure, and the finished product. If you have a dog that becomes overexcited when lured with food or a toy, you can teach the dog to target your hand or an object and then use your hand or the object as a lure. Look left. Look left. Good job. Free shaping. Here are some examples of behaviors that have been trained using free shaping. Free shaping is a way of training a behavior by reinforcing approximations of the behavior without using any prompts, such as a lure or a target. The great thing about free shaping is that it teaches animals to think for themselves. The hard thing about free shaping is that you can frustrate an animal if your timing, rate, or criteria is off. It is also hard to use free shaping in a highly distracting environment with a green dog. Here is one way you could teach a dog to do a handstand by using free shaping. First, you would click the dog for thinking to step backwards onto a low object, and then you would increase the height of the object and click the dog for choosing to put his back feet up on the object. The next step would be clicking the dog for taking his feet off so that he would be freestanding, and then clicking for steps forwards. Here is the final result. You could also use luring to train this behavior. A lot of behaviors can be trained with either using luring or free shaping. Capturing. Here are some examples of capturing. To capture a behavior, you simply have to click a behavior that your dog or animal offers naturally and reinforce it. The animal will start offering the behavior more frequently, and you can add a cue to it. You can play clicker games with your dog to teach them to be more inventive and creative with the behaviors that they offer you. One of the advantages of using capturing is that you can usually get behaviors that would have been difficult to train other ways. Some of the disadvantages of using capturing is that if the dog forgets the cue, there's really no way of reminding the dog what the behavior was that you wanted. Also, it's hard to generalize to different environments. An easy behavior to capture is eye contact. You simply have to stand still and wait, and when the dog looks at your eyes, click. Happy clicking! Any breed of dog can be clicker trained, from the smallest to the largest. Thank you to all the other YouTube users who let me use their footage in this video. Here are links to their channels that have clicker training tutorials on them.